Hey, leader, 10 years ago, we put out a book called Figure That Shift Out. We're celebrating the 10-year birthday with 10 stories of transformation of people who went through Figure That Shift Out and experienced a completely new level. They didn't get there by pushing harder in the pressure. They learned how to see clearly who they are in the best and worst of moments. We could say how they could relax into their brilliance. Listen in on these stories as you consider what might be possible for your own transformation.
My friends, welcome to this super fun series we're doing in the podcast, celebrating Figure That Shift Out, turning 10 years old. So we're doing 10 stories, 10 minutes. And this was an opportunity for me just to reach out to a select few and say, I'd love to have you on the podcast and talk about the process, the journey, the transformation. So super fun to introduce you all to who has become a visionary close friend of mine, fires me up, Jared Porpiglia. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I'll let you introduce and tell a little bit about what you do in the world, and then we'll get into Act One, Act Two, Act Three.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I can't believe 10 years has gone by so quickly. It's crazy. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and so proud of you and Brett and team to see just where things are at today. You guys are just amazing. And my name's Jared Perpilia. I am a vice president of procurement in the renewable industry and been in that industry for about 15 years now. Live in Phoenix, Arizona, and really I've been involved with Site Shift since I guess the inception, really.
In a lot of ways, yeah. You
Yeah.
and Brett met in 2012, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
crazy.
yeah, Brett and I had a random connection. We were at church and had a random connection in the basketball world, and became good friends ever since then. And in 2013, my wife and I got baptized, and I was leading some uh, men's groups, a couple, one I guess virtual and one local. And Brett said, "Hey, I got to tell you about this book that I'm about to release," and I got a copy of it. And here's I went through the archives. Here's the original.
Dang,
This
the
is the original.
OG.
Yep, 2014. Um, got a whole library now because you guys are at book 11 or 12, whatever whatever it is. Um, but started with that, and at the time we had a youth pastor living with us, and I bought him a copy. Him and I went through it together. I bought 5 copies for my closest friends back in New York, and we virtually went through it. Some local friends. So I, without even really knowing it, was already coaching, so to speak,
Mhm.
and just going through it together. And what really gravitated me towards the content was just this. Again, I was just baptized, a year prior, and um, have a secure identity in Jesus. Me personally, but the just that whole concept of identity, mission, and community, and how your insecurities really can impact what gear you're in, so to speak.
Mm.
So that was new to me. That whole concept, those 3 pillars, and I really just enjoyed diving in and really understanding my insecurities, but then raising my awareness to flip those, to not have to prove and hide so much, and carry so much guilt and shame as well. So that that was kind of the initiation, if you will, into figure that shift out.
Wow, one heck of an initiation. So you're exposed to the content, you're resonating with it, you're sharing it with others. What was the impetus then for you to say, "Hey, actually, I want to go through Figure That Shift Out officially, the coaching program"? What was happening at that time?
Yes. So fast forward to 2018. My a very close cousin of mine's like a little brother passed away tragically, and it really shook me. And I kind of lost my identity, lost my way a little bit, and I recognized I needed the coaching. And Brett is who coached me back in 2018, and it was just, I mean, it was transformational. Going through um, and having a coach to guide you and navigate um, the you know the chapters and content. They're not it doesn't take a lot of time. It's that application. That's where and just being real, looking in the mirror and answering truly like, hey, this is who I am. And just understanding again your insecurities, and then how to flip those. Those are the fears and insecurities are lies, right? So
Mhm.
those don't define me anymore, and I don't have to prove and hide. I mean that's the whole thing, is just going through life on this hamster wheel of proving and hiding is exhausting. So being able to stay calm in the chaos is something you and I have talked a lot about, and is a great slogan that I use often. I think of just the samurai warrior, sitting down and just the chaos going on. But being able to channel that has really just been instrumental for me, personally and professionally, in my line of work. It is pretty much constant chaos. I'm putting fires out, on a daily basis. My background screen I'm looking at right now is a firefighter running into a fire. So that's what I'm doing on a daily basis. But I'm able to really attack the chaos through a clear and secure identity, and having a lens through that identity, which allows me to lead for impact and not validation,
Right on.
and just develop others, and just making sure that and I guess that's part of the why reason I got certified was to share that good news, and I wanted others to have that impact and that transformation, um,
That's
kind of
awesome.
getting the weight off the shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah. And you've lived that. I mean, I think for context, for people just to appreciate, I mean, we're talking about massive billion-dollar negotiations to me stepping into your world in the renewable space and all of these companies that you have connection and influence with. And it was like your name alone gets a meeting. Your forward of an email alone gets a meeting. And so you're running into this chaos, you're keeping this clear mind because you've learned how to have a secure identity. And that's the thing that makes me so sad about like modern personal development, because we've fallen into this trap where we think, you know, you need to build your identity around the habit you want to build or the new role you think of. And that's a shortcut to it, but that still makes you brittle. Because what if you win? What if you lose? What if you lose that role? What if you lose that ability to perform as that D1 football player? And then who are you then? And so what's special to me is like you not only have seen the transformation and like you mentioned now certified, um, working with people around you, taking a friend through it, doing it with your team there, like you're contacting me and saying, dude, have you thought about this? What about this? And you're seeing this larger vision. We had someone as a part of these episodes, someone from Finland, and she was like, I want to change leadership in Finland. Like, I want Site Shift to change the conversation about how we think about leadership. And to see the way that you've done the same, like, why can't the renewable industry be a leader in the quality of our leadership? And so you're carrying and living out that mantle, and that's super special. What would be for you like a moment that stands out that's just really meaningful for, and obviously protect the names of the innocent, at whatever level you could speak about it, where you're like, oh my gosh, I got to participate in a process of their life changing.
Yeah. You mentioned the team training. So I've been able to go through this with multiple teams in my history in the renewable space, and one team specifically, just the kind of the aha moment when we went through the IFQ results, and the team understood it, like that light bulb went on
Mm.
when they saw their top fears. They're like, oh, this is me. Like this is it. I think that just that's so powerful, because you could go your whole life not connecting that dot, and again you're on this hamster wheel of just exhaustion, trying to prove and hide. So when you have that identified, I think that's kind of the first step is in the transformation process is, okay, here's these fears, but now what do I do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. And which is, of course, the coaching. I love the phrase light bulb moment. And I'm so glad you mentioned the IFQ. I don't think I've talked about it enough in this series. It's like, because now that's the starting point. Like, let's get data, the identity
Yeah.
fear quotient, what's showing up. And, maybe this would be a great way to close. And it makes me sad because, dude, I want to jam with you for like a lot longer, trying to stay true to this form for this series. You look at the world, insecure leaders are ruining the world. And you're talking about it here. It's like there's so much more to experience. Obviously, with your vast experience in the industry of renewables, when you look out across it and you see so many different companies, what would be the one thing you'd want to say to them if they could sit down and hear from you? Like, this is what's possible. Just a brief statement on the freedom they could experience.
Yeah, just be vulnerable.
Mm.
I think the lack of vulnerability at any capacity of leadership, it is just really sad. When you're vulnerable, it puts, guard down, wall down. Hey, I'm just a human, right? I'm just like you. I'm not perfect. I mess up. I make mistakes. Um, and I feel like that brings people together, and allows them to just know that, hey, yeah, we're all in this together, and I can learn and grow at the same time. The perfection's not expected. And one of my tattoos, I have a few of them, but progress, not perfection,
Mm.
is what I have. And it's, with the vulnerability, that's how you make progress. Yeah,
Right on. The things we want to hide and prove are the things that we can just be honest about. The transformation goes from
exactly.
there. Jared, thanks for being here today with me. Such an honor for these stories of life change. Glad you're here. And for everyone listening, I hope Jared's story inspires and encourages you to lean into those vulnerable moments. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, Chris. Take care.
Thanks for listening in as we dove into the story of transformation. As someone went through Figure That Shift Out, we're celebrating 10 years, 10 stories, and I don't want it just to be something you listen to. Explore what might be possible. Imagine how far you might go in your leadership. And join one of our Figure That Shift Out coaching groups, work with one of our certified coaches. I look forward to hearing about the transformation that you go through as a result of Figure That Shift Out.